guys. Fallen Angel here. Gonna give everybody a chance to come pop in. Hey Jan, hey Honey Bubs, hey Anna, Melanie, Jen. It's good to see y'all. I don't know why I'm getting a little blurry, but oh well. That's what for some reason the camera's doing that. Hope everybody's doing okay today. How is everybody? I'm doing pretty good. It is raining really pretty bad over here. Um, I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm just tired of rain. I wish it would go away, but it hasn't really gotten that cool. It is a little chilly in the house. Hey, Pam, Sam, it is good to see you. How are you doing today? Well, I figured I would go live and do another Christmas story origin video, which today is going to be Christmas stockings. I know our traditions for around Christmas. Cat went in on the live stream. That's pretty funny. I know our traditions is the night before Christmas, um, or even just Christmas in general, decorating. We have these um, very different, very pretty stockings that we hang by the on the mantle by the chimney. And supposedly through the night, when Santa Claus is supposed to come, the next morning it will be filled with all kinds of goodies in that stocking. Hi Amanda, it's good to see you. Um, but I've always wondered, where did that originate? Why do we do it now? And I was able to find some interesting tidbits of information, a legend of the reason, the story behind having, or the significance of having a stocking hung by the chimney around Christmas time. And I figured I'd share it with you guys because I thought it was pretty interesting. And um, we all have heard, different nicknames that Santa Claus has, and one of them is Saint Nick. Well, Saint Nick is based on a person who was, his name was Nicholas, which I will get into that in another story later on. And Nicholas ended up becoming a saint. And why am I blurry again? I have no idea. But Saint Nick, the story goes Well, Saint Nick had started to travel, and he came to this one village, and in this village, the entire village was pretty much talking about um, a a family who the it was a husband who had just lost his wife and three daughters, um, and they were very poor anyway, and they were becoming of age where they were to be married off to other families. And the issue was if he didn't have the money to um, pay what they call a dowry, which is pretty much, I even had to do research on it to make sure I knew exactly what I was talking about. Um, a dowry is where the the future wife, has some kind of insurance. A lot of times it's money. Sometimes it's things to help them settle in case there is something going on, like a the husband passes on, uh, the 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 marriage ended up becoming a divorce, and they women back then did not have what we have now. We have more or less, we have a lot more equal rights in the world, but there are some countries that women are more like um, just stay at home moms. They help raise children. They don't get to work. um, they are pretty much still, there are very, very small places where they can be considered property. And back then, it was even more prominent. And with a dowry, it's the family of the wife is supposed to have it, and on their wedding day, the husband's family or the husband themselves, you know, it's pretty much a contract. It's insurance for the woman that um, the bigger the dowry is, the better off they would be in marriage. Hi, Mitchell family, and hi, Angel Munoz. It is good to see you guys. Hi, country girl. And with that dowry, it was so important um because that is just an insurance in case something happened to the husband. The woman would be took care of. Well, the father was down on this luck. They were poor. They didn't have enough to necessarily keep um to keep up with the three daughters that they had. So what would have ended up happening was there was two or three different scenarios there. One, the the daughters would have to stay home. Second, they would have either had to be sold, or three, they would have had to find work for themselves and work really hard, which would have been really, really rare. But in order to make sure that the women, the girls were took care of, they wanted to make sure they had a dowry so they could get married and have a family. So that's why it was so important. Well, it just so happened Saint Nicholas came into this village, and he learned of this situation with this family. So what ended up happening was, supposedly the eldest daughter was supposed to, quote unquote, be auctioned off. And the night before that was supposed to happen, of course, the daughters actually got ready, washed up really good, found their best stockings, washed them really good, and hung them by the chimney to dry out. And Amanda's right; they would have become old maids, which meant they would be women without children, really without family, and it would have been a hard life for them. So these girls ended up doing everything they're supposed to do. They washed their stockings, got their best stockings, made sure they were washed, and they were dried by the chimney because they didn't have electricity then. So they had to do it by the heat of, um, in this case, the chimney. Well, St. Nicholas came by, just happened to walk by the house, noticed that the window was open, and he had um, a little sack of money, just like a little coin purse of money, and it should have been enough to be a dowry for the girls, for at least the first daughter. As he was walking past the house, what he had done was threw the sack of coins, through the window, and it landed in the stocking. Kind of ironic, ain't it? It's kind of interesting. And he ended up walking away from the house once he realized it landed in the stocking. He just walked on. Try to make himself scarce disappear, because really at that time he did not want to be known. He didn't want to. He wished to remain anonymous. Well, the next morning, as they were getting ready to go do this little auctioning off thing for his first daughter, which it made the father really sad and disappointed, but he knew he really didn't have a choice. He found that sack of coins, which was enough to prevent his eldest daughter from becoming auctioned off and out of the family and all that stuff. And they also had enough money to where they could have a little bit of food. They could go buy some food to feed the family, because at that time they were that poor. I mean, it was pretty bad. Hi, Brandon, the gent. It's good to see you. So in comes the second daughter having to be auctioned off the same way. Everything went the same way. They got her ready. They ended up they ended up washing her best stockings and putting them up by the chimney to dry on the mantle, um, making sure that everything was pristine. So she would, you know, when you're auctioned off, you want to get the best money for it, so to speak. Sorry about that. Well, you know, It just so happened the same thing happened again. St. Nicholas walked by, and the window happened to be open. St. Nicholas threw the sack of coins. This is the second time he done it. Into the in through the window, and it landed in that stocking. That set of stockings that the second daughter was supposed to wear. Well, by this time, the second the second time this was to happen, the father woke up and they noticed that there was a second sack of coins, and it was enough for the second daughter, plus a little bit for them to be able to buy food and what they needed. The father started getting a little smart and caught on to it. So he's like, okay, the next time he had a third daughter, this last time that this he's gonna stay up and watch. He kind of hid himself to where out of the view of the window, but he could see or hear it happening, and he was gonna try to catch whoever it was because he was so humbled that somebody would do that to help him and his family. And this guy's proud, okay? He didn't want charity. He didn't want anybody to feel sorry for him and his family, that he wouldn't just take charity. He would rather work for it, type of thing. I'm doing good, Mitchell family. And that sounds good, Joshua Co. And welcome to the stream. Um so day 3, third daughter is supposed to be auctioned off. Well, everything happened almost the exact same way. But this time, the father decided to stay in the room where the chimney was at, where the stockings were, leave the window open just to see if he can catch whoever's doing it. The same thing happened. Much love to you, Jen. Same thing happened. St. Nicholas threw the sack of coins into the stocking. And this time you would have been able to hear a little sound. So the father woke up because he had ended up falling asleep. He woke up, happened to notice that, hey, there was a sack of coins in it. So he runs outside to try to find out. And of course, St. Nicholas, I guess, understood that the father done that. So he was hauling butt trying to hide from the father because he didn't want to be known. He wanted to remain anonymous. Excuse me. So it ended up, the father ended up finding St. Nicholas and kind of cornered him. He's like, why did you do that? And he said, I know how important family is. And I understand you were having trouble. He pretty much St. Nicholas told the father that, hold on just a second. Sorry about that. St. Nicholas pretty much told the father that he didn't feel right knowing what he knew and not doing something to help the family out. And see, St. Nick, I know people know this, he is a patron of of children. He is the top two. He and even and Saint Nick was actually a person. I'll kind of go into more detail in another video, but he pretty much um sorry you hear people in the background. Um Pretty much what he would do is he would help children out in any way shape he could. And this was just one story that has been handed down verbally, and it was written down after the real Saint Nick had passed away. And the father actually done what he said he would do and not tell anybody. Um, Apparently, there had been a witness to see that happen, and this story was like really, just like I said, passed down by word of mouth, and it eventually got written down as one of the things that Nicholas would do. And even to this day, the reason, from that story is the reason why we now have stockings hung by the chimney. And they're empty. It's not like we have gifts and stuff to bestow upon Saint Nick, because he never wanted anything in return. And for me, this was actually really kind of anybody to do. Not only did they get to eat, they ended up having enough money to get a decent marriage for all three girls. Excuse me. And they were actually better off. They ended up, from what I've seen in stories, the family actually started becoming better off, which makes things a lot better in the end. It shows to me how kind Saint Nick was. It shows, for me, that kind of, it made a lot of sense why we would now hang those stockings up. That's pretty cool, Amanda. Some people have not heard of these stories that I've been telling, where these traditions come from. And I love being able to do the research and be able to tell you guys what I hear. And there is one other story, but there's only one place that I've ever found it, and I don't think it's necessarily the right one, the right origin story to tell. Exactly, honey bubs. He helped them rise up and be prosperous. Hi, Irish whiskey. Um, and in a lot of ways, that makes me think of during Christmas time, traditions that people do. And that's why sometimes, even in my family, we have done, I would say, some charity. What we would do is find an angel tree. And what this angel tree is, it's got different names of kids, of children. Sometimes it's for people in rest homes and whatnot who don't have much or little of anything. And you pick out an angel, And on the back of it has things that they like, what kind of sizes their clothes are, and whatnot. And you can actually go and buy some things for them for Christmas. And in doing so, these people actually get to open gifts. They actually get to have a Christmas where they may or may not be able to otherwise. And usually around my birthday, December 4th, if we could find an angel tree, we would actually go get a 3 or 4 presents or whatnot, and and within even the next day, we would actually drop it off for that special person. I wish there was more that I could do as far as giving to people, especially around Christmas time. But, and also, the only other thing is the way I believe, if you see somebody in need and you've got the means to, do what you can to help out. I love doing angel trees around Christmas time. I love being able to make somebody's day if I know that they're having trouble. I hope you've had a good week, Josh. That's awesome, Amanda. But pretty much that's the story of the Christmas stocking and why we do that now. It's, to me, that symbolizes, something very significant that most people don't realize has ever happened. And it's funny that St. Nicholas actually had good aim enough to aim it for the stocking so we would be there. Hi, Alicia Kellersworth. It is good to see you. Thank you for dropping in on the stream. I think a lot of malls, different malls, have those angel trees. It depends on the community. The churches sometimes do things and I set them up, but I think it is pretty good. We, to me, I think around Christmas time we think of helping other people out sometimes. Um, but yeah, I do encourage people, if you happen to see a Christmas tree or an angel tree rather, or a Toys for Tots drive, if you've got a little money to spare, even like $5, you can make a kid's day getting them a gift for Christmas, and you know donate it to Toys for Tots, or uh, get it for an angel tree. I've actually, that reminds me. Oh, that's cool, Melanie. My mom's birthday's on the same day, actually, Melanie. That's pretty cool. Yes, honey bugs. Great pitching arm for sure for St. Nicholas. And I am, uh, that is pretty cool though. And yeah, you're right, Amanda. Melanie's kid was almost a Christmas baby. I actually have a cousin who was born on Christmas. I sure hope ours slept well. He's just waking up. Get you some coffee, dude. But hi, Laura, Kathy. Is good to see you. But you guys, I'm having the best time doing research on different traditions, different um, things that are behind Christmas that we wouldn't normally think about. And if guys got any ideas, you can DM me on Instagram or on Twitter. Um, and they're coming through on in the links in the chat. You guys can definitely do that. Give if you have an idea, if you want to know something about a certain tradition or a subject you're not sure of necessarily, just DM me, let me know. And I'll do my best to start scheduling more of these little episodes more often. I may do, and if this goes really well for this month, next year around this time, I'll probably do it again. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm having a lot of fun doing the research on this. And I'm just like really thankful for you guys, everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's coming in. I'm very thankful for you guys because if you guys were not around, I probably wouldn't be doing anything that I've been doing. The Midnight Madnesses, Magic of Christmas. I'm starting out with Wayne Talks. And you guys are awesome. That's awesome, Alicia. And you're right. It seems like usually around the holidays, there's really no place for people who are down on their luck, having a hard time out on the streets. Now, episode 3, I'm kind of on the fence about. I'm wanting to do um a episode where I talk about actually the Christmas tree itself. Where did that story come from? Why do we do that? Or mistletoe? Where did the ideas come for the mistletoe? So, which I'll let you guys that are in the chat pick which one I'll do next, and I'll probably do it tomorrow or Thursday. A lot of like I said, a lot of these traditions really have a very interesting background story to them. That's awesome, Amanda. Yeah, mistletoe is just a fungus in the tree. But there's actually like 2 or 3 different stories to mistletoe. And the candy cane, I didn't think about the candy cane. And then there's also some interesting characters that hi scrapping together. Hi Linda P. Amanda, yes, in a way, mistletoe is actually a fungus. It's like a plant, a parasitic plant, if you know what I mean. And a parasitic plant feeds off of the life of another plant, if that makes sense. Mama Liam. Christmas tree. Yeah, I think I might end up doing the Christmas tree first, and then the next time I do a Magic of Christmas, which will probably, like I said, be in a couple days, I will, uh, I will actually do the mistletoe. The mistletoe is going to be fun because I'm going to get myself so confused on the stories. Hi, Harry Sweener. It's good to see you. So the next time I do one of these Magic of Christmas episodes, we will talk about Christmas trees. And then the next one I do will be the mistletoe. I love the candies. I could sit and eat the whole. Me too, Linda P. But I appreciate you guys. I am actually going to let you guys go for now. I am going to try to do a hangout live stream later on tonight. As long as I'm not running over anybody. Um, I definitely will be going live tomorrow if my camera will quit trying to make make me blurry. I'm doing okay, Harry Sweener. Um, Moravian Customs. I'll have to look into that and see what I can get if my camera quit going blurry on me, I'll be all right. Camera just don't like me today. Try to get it to focus, it's not wanting to focus. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the little story I had to tell. Um, and just remember about the story with the three daughters with the stockings when you put your stocking up this year. I'm probably going to try to do that the next one in the morning time. I'll probably be about 11:30 to possibly tomorrow morning. Of course, that country Wi-Fi. It's same here. It's raining like crazy here, and my internet. I was going to go live earlier, but my internet decided to go for a few minutes, reset itself. That might be happening. But you guys, until next time, just remember you never know what's out there until you spread your wings and fly.